Hey guys, Chainer here again, and today we're going to be talking a little more about Greater Rifting as a solo barbarian in patch 2.1.2. Alright, so I made some videos about 2.1.2 and Greater Rifting, climbing the leaderboards and stuff, but recently non-season transferred over. I got a bunch of ancient gear, including Ancient Furnace. I got some more immunity necks that have proper statting, and I got to play around a little more and got to go into the really high end of things. And in this video I'm going to be showing you a clip of a Greater Rift 50 clear, which got me rank 4 on 2.1.2 non-season era 2. This video is being made before season 2 came out, so it was only up for a few days. So yeah, let's just get right into the build. Alright, so this is what I found kind of works really good for 50 plus. Now I've actually even did a 53 and I spawned the boss within like having 8 minutes or so to kill the boss. I just happened to get GOM and I was using lightning immunity. Now the immunity next, let's talk about that first. Fire, lightning, and poison. Okay, so fire and lightning are going to be great for the rift itself. I actually really like lightning. I don't have a perfect trifecta fire neck, so that kind of kills it for me there. But I do have the strength, crit damage, crit chance, socket, lightning, and poison. And for like, you know, 47 and a little bit under, I find going with the poison immunity neck is really good, because when you go with poison immunity, there's like 4 poison bosses, 2 of them which spawns ads, and you want bosses that spawn ads, or Stone Singer who clones himself, so you could reset your charge and do more damage that way. So as a Barb trying to get these really high end clears, you're gonna have to go through the rifts and kind of fish for the right boss. So you're gonna clear, you're gonna have plenty of time for the boss, and you're gonna get the wrong boss. You're gonna get, say, Erathon, who has a charge attack that's almost impossible to dodge, and he's not really clearable. But then you keep doing it, you keep putting in attempts, and then you get Stone Singer or you get Saxtress. Those are the 2 bosses as a barbarian that you really want to see. Now if you equip a poison immunity necklace, bosses like GOM, the Binder, and a few others are going to be in that clearable boss range, the bosses that you're fishing for. But poison doesn't help you so much in the rift. And now when you're going for 50, 51, 52, 53, and to the high potential of, you know, 55, maybe give or take, is where I see the Barb's potential being. I think it's better to go with a fire or lightning, so you get through the rift faster, and then you have plenty of time when you do get Saxtress or Stone Singer, which aren't gonna like immunity necklaces aren't gonna really help you there. So that's why I think poison is great. I think poison is absolutely great for like 47 and under, and this all varies depending on your gear. Like 47 for me might be 45 for someone else. So these are things you're going to kind of have to feel out for yourself. So that's something really important that I wanted to talk about. Aside from that, this is the build. Ground Stomp, Wrenching Smash. I found Frenzy with Call the Ancients, Council Rises, using Bolkathos Ring instead of Stone of Jordan. That stuff, it was great. It was great until I got to around 50s. Then I started, even when using poison immunity against GOM, like GOM's little fart AoE was killing my ancients, and I found it not to be as so good anymore. But when I was in the 46, 47 range, that was great. It was giving me a way higher clear rate. The thing is, every couple of Greater Rift levels you go up, you're gonna have to make adjustments. That's the way this works. That's just the way this works. But overall, and like I said, I've even done a 53 where I just spawned the wrong boss, otherwise I would have had the clear. I kind of felt it out, and this is what I think is best. So Ground Stomp, Wrenching Smash for the pull. This is mainly for the Greater Rift itself. You could, you know, kind of condense mobs so your Battle Rage Bloodshed hits more things, you do way more damage. Not only that, but your Furious Charge is a freeze. So say I get Stone Singer and I'm charging on top of him and it's freezing him, and eventually he gets DR, diminishing returns, and he becomes immune to your freeze for a few seconds. In this case, you could then hit him with your Ground Stomp, which is a stun on a separate DR, and you could continue to charge onto him for another few seconds, increasing the amount of damage and you could do and how safe you are while doing that damage, because these bosses can kill you quite easily, and it's the fights are not given, as you'll see later on in this Greater Rift clear. So Call of the Ancients Council Rises. This does double the amount of damage than all the other runes, all the other elements. So no matter what element you go, I find physical the best. You still want Council Rises, the fire rune on Call of the Ancients. Then we got Battle Rage Bloodshed, and now this is physical, so whenever you crit, 20% of that damage is spread to all mobs around the mob that you crit, and it kind of hits in this chain reaction, which if you have lots of mobs could double, triple, quadruple, even more your damage, because that 20% is hitting all the mobs around it, and all the mobs around it are proccing their own 20%, so if you have 5 mobs each hitting each other for 20% of the damage they took, you see where this is going. Alright, then we got Ignore Pain, Ignorance is Bliss. Ignore Pain reduces your damage by 50%, and Ignorance Bliss gives you 5.3k life per Fury. Now this is your source of defense, sorry. This is your source of defense, and this is your source of healing. So when you have Ignore Pain up, you could pop Battle Rage, which spends 20 Fury. Make sure in your Paragon points you don't put Reduced Resource Cost Reduction. You don't want that, because that's just going to lower your healing. You don't use Resource for anything else aside from popping Battle Rage to heal yourself. So yeah, and this is where cooldown reduction comes in. Now, you know, since cooldown reduction isn't so important, since now we have 2 charges on our Furious Charge since 2.1.2, whatever, it's still important in Greater Rifting, cooldown reduction, because you want high uptime on Ignore Pain, Ignorance is Bliss. Like I said, this is your whole defense, your whole healing. I usually don't even put resistance gems in my gear. I go full out offense, and then this one gear slot with a little bit of extra cooldown reduction makes up for all the defense that I need. So really great stuff, guys. Of course, you'll need a Pride of Cassius to pair with that. Pride of Cassius is a belt that adds 4 to 6 seconds onto the length of the duration, or the duration of the ability. Sorry, I'm a little off today. All right. Anyways, Pride of Cassius could roll 4 to 6. It's very important to get a 6-second Pride of Cassius if you want to do some serious pushing. Alright, so Furious Charge Stamina, that's physical rune. Stamina actually has a higher proc coefficient than Merciless Assault, even though we don't really have proc coefficient things in this build, so it doesn't really matter. You could use whatever, but say you had like Mirene, then you want to use Stamina. Kind of irrelevant, just kind of some information. Alright, and then Wrath of the Berserker, Insanity. So, you know, pretty standard buff, used in just about every Barb build. So, yeah, it's there. Alright, so passives are Berserker's Rage, 25% more damage when you're over so much, when you're around the 100% Fury. Yeah, you pop Battle Rage to heal sometimes, but you don't really spam it. So, the reason why you'll go with the 25% damage from Berserker's Rage instead of 20% from Brawler whenever 3 or more mobs are around you, you deal 20% more damage. Is because on the boss you might not have those 3 mobs around you, and this is going to help out on the boss. Really need it. Boon of Bolkathos, reduce your cooldowns on Call the Ancients and Wrath of the Berserker. Really good, because you're going to be popping those 2 together to kill elite packs, to get extra DPS on the boss, etc. Rampage, reason why we use Rampage is it's a multiplicative, so it's just worth a lot, and it's easier to keep up than most people think. It gives you 1% strength for every mob you kill, up to 25, so 25% bonus strength, and that's great. And it, like I said, it's easier to keep up than most people think it is. And then Ruthless, you deal 40% more damage when a mob is under 30% health, and this is specifically good on the boss as well. But overall in the rift, great stuff. All right, so that's about that for the build. There we go. Let's go ahead and watch this clip. Alright, so we're starting off here. This is Greater Rift 50. Now, this was my first run, and I am using a poison immunity necklace in this run, but I highly suggest that you use lightning or fire immunity, as long as you have those trifecta stats of either strength or, you know, an element. So you could either have strength in the first slot, or you could have physical percent in the first slot. If it's an ancient, strength is a little better. If it's not ancient, then physical is usually a little better. Beside the point, the main things you need are crit damage and a socket. Crit chance next, and then comes either the strength or the elemental. And like I said, fire or lightning is going to help you get through the rift faster, and then you just got to hope for Saxtress or Stone Singer at the end, because as you go higher and higher into the 50s, you know, poison bosses, Gom has a lot of health, and he could be a little slower to kill, even though he's with a poison immunity, he's just a straight tank and spank. Yeah. So, like I said, this was the first 50 I popped. The first 50 key I had, I popped it in. I still had my poison immunity neck on, but I decided from there on to go with lightning immunity. So, just take that into consideration. Alright, over here, I'm kind of wasting my time a little bit because of the stairs and how the mobs are spread out. And in Greater Rifting, some mobs are worth more progress than other mobs. So, say you get Unburieds and Dust Eaters. Those are the best mobs. They are worth so much progression in Greater Rifts, way more than other mobs. So, the RNG factor, or the conditions you need to meet in a Greater Rift to complete it, are good mobs, good density, a good map that allows room for you to charge and have some area to avoid deadly things, and more importantly, to group up mobs easier. Then you're going to need to get the right boss. So in this case, as a barbarian, that's Stone Singer, that's Saxtress. And like I said, if you're a few rift difficulties down and you have poison immune on, Gom, the binder, etc, etc. And then another thing is pylons. Alright, so conduit pylon and power pylon can stack. And there is a small chance to get pylons to spawn near each other. So there is a chance that in a Greater Rift you could spawn a boss, you could grab the power pylon, run over to the conduit pylon, and use that power conduit combination on a Greater Rift boss. And it's going to do tons of damage, and it's going to shave 4 minutes maybe plus off your run, almost killing a boss in even the highest of Greater Rifts. If you get power conduit plus Stone Singer, who's the lowest HP boss in the game, or in rifts in general, yeah, it's pretty crazy. So the amount of RNG, or randomness, RNG is random number generation. That's how everything, like, that's how, you know, they determine what map you get, or what mobs spawn, or, you know, what items drop and what stats roll on the item. It's all RNG. It's just a bunch of digital dice rolls. So over here, this is where the rift starts really kicking in. As you can see, I'm getting some good spawns, some good density, and this is the RNG that I'm talking about. Again, you can see I'm using my ground stomp to stack the mobs, which, as you can see, is really increasing my damage. Another thing I like to do is kind of just, you know, charge around for a few screens of distance and kind of scout the area, and then I could go back to the middle of all those screens, and, you know, since I kind of grabbed the attention and aggroed all those mobs on the other screens around me, they'll all kind of come in and condense, and that's something you really want here. Now, over there, that's a channeling pylon, and the elite up there is electrified. So now if I grab that channeling pylon, my battle rage would cost 0 fury. So if I have Ignore Pain, Ignorance is Bliss, where I get 5.3k life for every point of Fury that I spend, yet there's no way for me to spend Fury. I'll have no way to heal if I grab that channeling pylon on this specific fight. So that is why I'm leaving it there, and I'm kind of just saving it. Another thing is, if there so happens to be a power pylon next to that channeling pylon, power channeling on a boss, say like Stone Singer, is really, really good too. Especially in the beginning. Some pylons you want to use in the beginning of a boss fight, some you want to use towards the end. So I like using pylons in the beginning of Stone Singer, because Stone Singer spawns ads. So in the beginning it's just him, so when you pop your ancients, they all attack him. You know, towards 50% he has 3 clones of himself, and your ancients are going to spread and might not even attack the real one. Another thing is, the first phase is going to be the slowest phase because you only have 1 target, so you're not going to be able to reset your Furious Charge cooldown as well. So if you could get him to spawn that first clone, so you have at least 2 targets, you're going to be able to reset your Furious Charge and just kind of keep on charging him whenever you feel like it. Because obviously you can't sit there and just spam charge on them, because once they swing and hit you, it's pretty much a one-shot. Alright. Little break there. Alright, so we're continuing through. And it looks like these are the Dust Eaters that I'm talking about. So I see these Dust Eaters and I'm like, yes. So the fact that I got Dust Eaters on floor 3 is probably the reason why I even completed this rift. Because as you watch my progression bar as I'm killing these little zombies that die fairly easily, you'll see my progression bar is moving up in little chunks for each one of them that I kill, which is just silly. It's really silly, and in my opinion, a little imbalanced. If they kind of tone down the progression that Dust Eaters and Unburieds were worth, you know, the Greater Rift experience would be much more fluid, much more even. And, you know, it would be one less factor of RNG in the whole Greater Rift fishing strategy to get on top of the leaderboards. As you can see here again, I'm kind of, like I said before, I'm grabbing the attention of mobs throughout a few screens. Since we can't pull a charge anymore, you know, that's one thing, but nothing's stopping you from manually walking the mobs to you. So this is what I do here to fight a double pack. And now this is a fire chain pack, and on the other side we have an elite that's not too dangerous. So what I'm trying to do here is stay on the outside of the fire chain and use the frontal cone of my Furious Charge to deal damage to the fire chain pack. That way I could hit the whole pack with my charge, but never actually have to go inside the fire chain. And this is one of the good parts about Furious Charge's pull being removed from 2.1.1 into 2.1.2. is that we no longer pull mobs on top of us when we charge. So it used to be a fire chain pack. You couldn't kill them because you charged them and then they all got sucked right on top of you, and then that was it. That was it. You got hit by every single one of their fire chains. So got the kill there. As you could see, that double pack really pushed me ahead. And now I'm just moving on a little bit. I got some Dust Eaters here, and I see that, you know, that's pretty much going to spawn it. So I use my ground stomp to pick them up. Like I said, Dust Eaters are worth a nice little chunk, so I know those little guys are going to spawn the boss for me. Just like that. And now, here we go. Stone Singer. And I am excited as hell, but I know at this point I only have around 6 minutes or so to kill him, which is not a crazy amount of time. And on top of that, I don't have a pylon. So now over here, it's important to charge through Stone Singer. His melee cleave can one-shot you, but it's a bit slow. It's a bit slow, but you could charge into that cleave and it could really hurt. So you're going to try to charge through him, or you're going to try to frontal cone him. Frontal cone means charge like right in front of him, and just because your charge has, you know, maybe that much of a distance, it'll hit, like if you land over here, it's going to hit the mobs over here in front of you. That frontal cone also knocks up mobs, so, you know, if you're in T6 and got strong arm bracers, it would activate them. Not really important for Greater Rifts though, because Ancient Parlin Defenders are absolutely key. So now over here, this is what I'm saying about the beginning of the fight being a little slow, and, you know, a power pylon used here would be really, really great, because your Ancients are going to sink a lot of damage into Stoneslinger in the beginning of the fight, but the Ancient damage is going to kind of be brought down a little bit. Not saying that, you know, at the end of the fight, you do have the, you know, the extra 40% damage, which is great too, so. Alright, as you can see, the ground stomp there. Got a stun off. So now over here, I'm using the frontal cone. As you can see, I'm hitting both of them. One of them happens to be immune to me right now. If I could get in there, I could get him frozen, then I could use my ground stomp. I kind of missed my ground stomp, just misjudged it. And there we go, that was it. That's the cleave. It will wreck you. Luckily, I didn't die too many times in the rift. Only one time. So I could afford to die a few times on this fight, but not too many. Got the ground stomp off on them, and I got the extra stun. So like I said, either charging through or using the frontal cone. I find the frontal cone to be a little safer. You know, like I said, with the charge, you hit mobs a little bit to the side of you, and you hit mobs in front of you when you land. So you got to use that to your advantage to, you know, basically hit mobs with your Furious Charge without actually going through those mobs. Or, you know, maybe getting in range of whatever is deadly about them. And for me, I always want to keep at least one Furious Charge up. I never want my Furious Charge to hit 0. Against a single target, I never want my Furious Charge to go to 2. But if my Furious Charge goes to 0 and then say they cast something at me, I could just charge away from it. So whenever they cast that little avalanche attack, I could just charge right out of it. Boom. Nice and easy. Now, I notice now that I'm watching this again that I'm not making 100% use of my ground stomp, which I should be. It's just, this is a very dangerous fight, and this was very, very high pressure. Like I said, you know, I gotta charge through these guys, but they could easily insta-gib me. Alright, gotta get out of that avalanche. Another thing you want to do is, like, say Stoneslinger, you got to kind of highlight the Stoneslingers. The real one is going to have, as you can see at the top right now, that scroll around the health bar as you highlight them. The fake ones are not going to have that. So before you pop your Ancients, you could kind of find where the real one is, and then kind of make sure that you're closest to him, so that when you spawn your Ancients, got kind of lucky there. When you spawn your Ancients, they go right for the closest mob, which is going to be the real Stoneslinger. As you can see here, we're getting pretty close on time. So I'm getting a little nervous here. Oh, I have them in good position to ground stomp. As you can see, you know, I made sure I was next to the real one, at least somewhat next to him. Really need to get them with my ground stomp there, but I'm a little afraid to even stay there for that long. Sometimes, because ground stomp takes like half a second to even cast. So the thing is that I could cast my ground stomp and wind up getting smacked as the cast animation is going off if I place myself in the middle of them. So it's a tricky thing. It's a tricky thing. It requires some real precision. This is the best fight in my opinion for Barb, but it's not an easy fight. It takes, like I said, a lot of skill, a lot of precision. And I am definitely not playing this perfect. As you can see, I charged them a few times for my freeze, and then and then I got my ground stomp stun off on them. I got my ground stomp again. I saw the incoming swing. If I could get my ground stomp off here, I got him frozen. Boom. There it is, guys. There it is. And oh my god, did you see? I forgot to show you guys. I'll make another video of it. But I got so excited, guys. I got so excited that I jumped out of my chair and fell down. Yeah. Knocked my green screen down and everything. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. Actually, let's see. If I could go here and rewind in a second, I'll show it again at the end of the video. If not, I'll make a separate video so you guys could watch me fail. Oh, God. Anyways, that was Greater of 50, Stone Singer boss, no pylons. Like I said, I was using a poison immunity neck, but I think lightning or fire is going to be best. So definitely take that into consideration. And yeah, that's about it. So I think I'm gonna pull up the leaderboards here in just a second. Once I get myself settled down and pull my green screen back up and get my fat ass off the floor. Alright, there it is. Rank 4, Greater of 50 in 14 minutes 40 seconds. As you can see, 2015-2, 2 meaning Era 2 for non-season. This is before the release of Season 2, so Season is not out yet. When Season 2 comes out, I'm definitely going to be playing it. It actually comes out Friday. Let's see. I bet it's going to be a pain in the ass. Yeah. This is right off of Twitch, so Twitch has been really bad lately. You can't kind of pick the position of the video. It just kind of sends it right back to the beginning of the video. Anyways, like I said, I'll make a separate video. You guys could watch me fall on my ass if you want. I'll leave an annotation when I get it somewhere over here. Anyways, that's my video for today. I hope you liked it. I hope it was helpful. If you want, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, all that good stuff. It'll be much appreciated, guys. See you tomorrow. Later.